Hey everyone, welcome back to another Raiders Report episode. Today we're diving into everything you need to know about this year's mandatory minicamp, the 3-day grind that sets the tone for the rest of the offseason. If you're new here, I'm Mitchell Renz, your go-to source for all things silver and black, and I'm coming to you fresh off my wedding week. Huge shout out to everyone who sent congratulations my way. But more importantly, I'm locked in on this Raiders minicamp, and I can't wait to break down what to watch, who's practicing, and what every rep could mean as the team heads toward training camp. First things first, let's talk logistics. All players had to report to Henderson by June 9th for their physicals. That's non-negotiable. No physical, no practice. Once that's squared away, the helmets go on and the pads stay off for practices on June 10th, 11th, and 12th. It's helmet-only work, so you're going to see plenty of thudding collisions and drills and one-on-ones without the full contact gear of training camp. Don't expect highlight reel hits, but you will see guys angling, shedding blocks, and testing each other's strength like a half-speed war. There's also a fine structure in place for anyone thinking about skipping out. Missing day 1, 2, or 3 comes with escalating financial penalties. At the time of this recording, nobody on this roster is expected to sit out. But it's always interesting to consider who might risk a 6-figure fine if they did. Colt McCoy and Jacoby Myers come to mind. They've only had non-mandatory work the rest of the offseason and could technically skip. But why jeopardize your standing or incur a massive bill? For the most part, the coaching staff wants everyone in helmets and on the field, competing for position battles and roster spots. Speaking of competing, that word is the one Pete Carroll and John Spicer have hammered home since day one. This minicamp is the first true taste of live offense versus defense, and it's a 3-day audition to show how each player can elevate the roster before training camp and preseason games begin. For the next 6 weeks, the staff will study film from these helmet-only sessions to figure out where to tweak the roster, which positions still need depth, and which matchups could define the early part of the season. When you preach competition as much as this coaching staff does, every practice rep is a referendum on who belongs. As I watched the first practice windows and scrimmage segments, several storylines emerged. The quarterbacks in red jerseys, untouchable, of course, are operating with pinpoint accuracy, delivering hot reads under center and in the shotgun. The offensive and defensive lines are testing the edges, the receivers are tracking every pass, and the secondary is vying to break up completions. Without that full pad protection, it's raw, but that rawness is exactly what coaches use to gauge effort, technique, and mental processing under pressure. What I love about minicamp is the controlled environment. There's no crowd noise, no 3-hour game clock, but there's still plenty on the line because these are the reps that turn into trust. And trust turns into roster spots. The vets are there to set the tone. The rookies are hunting for their names to be called in the initial roster projections. And the bubble. Players are hoping to do something that turns heads. Will the veteran backup at tight end flash route precision? Will the young cornerback stick to his assignment through the whistle? Will the unsung linebacker evade a block and make a play in the backfield? All that matters in these 3 days. Before I unveil the names of the players I think could surprise the staff and potentially shock the league, I want to prompt you. While I've got my list ready to roll, I'm curious. Who's the under-the-radar player you're most intrigued by heading into minicamp? Who do you think might emerge from the shadows, make a standout play, and force Pete Carroll to take notice? Drop your pick and your reasoning in the comments, whether it's a player you've been tracking since the draft, an undrafted free agent nobody's talking about yet, or a veteran who's fighting for every last rep. After this quick break, I'll share my top underdogs. Those names that could go from practice squad hopefuls to critical contributors by the time training camp opens. Stay with me. When the cameras cut back in after the break, the first name that really jumps off this tape is Thomas Harper. Watching him weave through traffic in the nickel package, you can see why the coaches have been raving about his versatility. He slips past blockers with a surprising burst of agility, eyes locked on the quarterback's throwing motion, and he times his break on a slant route so precisely that the ball tipped off his hands and into the grasp of a teammate. That play, alone earned a double take from the defensive coordinator, who leaned into the headset and barked for 2 more reps against different formations just to see if it was a one-off or a sign of something bigger. As Harper jogged back to the huddle, you could almost hear the click of mental notes being made by everyone on that sideline. Not far behind him was Lockie Tossey, the massive international pathway offensive guard whose sheer size immediately changes. How you view the line of scrimmage. In one-on-one pass protection drills, he held his ground against a first-team defensive end who'd been disrupting pockets all morning. There's a rawness to Tossey's technique. His footwork isn't polished, and his hand placement occasionally drifts. But the physicality is undeniable. When the play ends, he plants his helmet and roars as if to remind everyone that this is still football. Helmet on collisions and all. It's that kind of fire that turns heads in these helmet-only sessions, because even without full pads, you feel the force of his drive in every rep there. A name I wasn't expecting to pop up so consistently was Alex Bachman. Last year, he earned his spot with clutch catches and impeccable route depth. But this time around, he's showing off a crispness to his release that suggests he's taken his off-season work to another level. There was a sequence where he ran a double move on the boundary, selling a bubble screen, and then leaping into a fade route that drew a perfect back shoulder throw from the quarterback in red. Even without contested catches being the highlight of minicamp, that catch was enough to earn a round of applause from the wide receivers coach, who smiled as he marked down a note on his clipboard. Bachman, reliable hands, polished route runner, high football IQ, Colin Johnson, that lanky receiver who looked like a 7th-round flyer when he first arrived, turned a few more heads by hauling in a contested pass near the sideline, going toe-to-toe with a veteran cornerback who'd been shadowing him all day. Johnson's length and catch radius give him an edge, but what stood out was his body control. He wiggled both feet in bounds while absorbing contact, then popped up like it was nothing. That play sliced through the noise of the practice, and for a brief moment, every coach and player on the field paused, as if collectively recalibrating their expectations for this young man. On the other side of the ball, Dalton Wagner's battle with Pierce Munford at right guard produced one of the most electric moments of the morning. In a red zone pass rush drill, Wagner bull rushed his opponent off the line, dipping his shoulder and collapsing the pocket, nearly sacking the quarterback before the whistle blew. It was only 1 rep, but the timing, power, and sheer competitive swagger it displayed sent a clear message. Wagner is staking his claim to one of the 9 offensive line spots and forcing the coaches into a genuine dilemma. Shortly after that, he ran a 2nd rep where Munford got the better of him, reminding everyone that this is still a competition. But that swing in momentum is precisely why this minicamp exists. Tight end Carter Renan continues to flash upside. In spacing the field, in a route running segment, he displayed natural ball skills when he adjusted to an off-target throw, pivoting midair and securing the catch high along the sideline before dragging both feet in bounds. There's a rawness to his blocking technique, and he looks like a rookie learning the nuances of the position, but his athleticism is undeniable. When he turns to the huddle, there's a grin like he knows the coaching staff saw it, and that kind of confidence can turn a developmental prospect into a real contributor sooner than anyone expects. Andre Carter's motor never quits, and watching him hunt for the football in those linebacker versus tight end pickups is a reminder of why he's earned a reputation as a high-effort veteran. In a red zone goal line rep, he spilled a blocker with a hand-fighting move, then angled perfectly to dive and deflect a shovel pass at the line of scrimmage. The ball bounced right back into his hands, and he sprinted to the sideline with a kind of enthusiasm that suggests he'd do it again 100 times. That play had the special teams coach nodding, and I wouldn't be surprised if that rep pushed Carter onto more special team snaps once the pads come on. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders, and don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers around the NFL world have been growing louder this week as rookie Jack Beck has been turning heads during the Raiders training sessions. The young talent, relatively unknown before the preseason, appears to be making a strong case for himself to become a key figure in the team's offensive lineup. Sources close to the Raiders camp hint that Beck's work ethic and performance might just shake up the current depth chart. From the outset, Beck has shown an eagerness to prove himself. In a recent statement, he openly declared, "I want everyone to see my potential." A bold claim for a newcomer, but one backed by his apparent determination and skill on the field. Coaches and teammates alike have noticed his speed, agility, and football IQ, suggesting that he could be more than just a bench player this season. The Raiders have long been in search of fresh offensive firepower, and Beck might be the surprise solution to that ongoing quest. The speculation among analysts is that the Raiders could be grooming Beck to fill a crucial role, possibly as a slot receiver or even in more versatile offensive sets. His ability to quickly adapt to complex plays and maintain composure under pressure has fueled rumors that the coaching staff is seriously considering giving him significant snaps once the regular season kicks off. Of course, this is all still in the realm of possibility, but the buzz is unmistakable. Veteran players in the squad reportedly have taken Beck under their wing, impressed by his hunger and professional attitude. There's talk that the Raiders' offensive coordinator is excited by the rookie's progress and may look to integrate him into the game plan sooner rather than later. While the team hasn't made any official announcements, insiders say the preseason could be just the beginning of what might turn out to be a breakout season for Jack Beck. Raiders fans eager for new heroes are keeping a close eye on Beck, with social media already buzzing about his training highlights and potential impact. Whether Beck will live up to the hype remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, the young player is not shy about making his presence known and is ready to fight for a spot in the Raiders offense. If this momentum continues, Jack Beck could very well be the dark horse of the season, reshaping the team's attack in ways no one expected. As the Raiders gear up for the upcoming games, all eyes might just be on this promising rookie who wants nothing more than to showcase his talent and change the narrative around him. Will Jack Beck be the next big thing in Las Vegas? The preseason's unfolding story suggests that we're witnessing the birth of a new offensive threat, one eager to rise and make his mark. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.